right into SOS himself right now. 16-8, 9-3 versus Protoss. Definitely his best matchup.
I swear, I have to say one thing. Look at the smile on his face. I swear, every time we come into the studio, he's always the biggest pro gamer to like come up to us with a gigantic smile and just say hello in both English and Korean and just be super friendly. I love this guy.
Well, if I won as much money as he did and was on a team as good as he was as a pro gamer, I'd be happy all the time too.
True.
Now up against Rain here, 12-6, 3-3 versus Protoss. Not the worst record, but not as accomplished, definitely, as SOS, especially with SOS's overseas record against Protoss, playing in best-of series. Just stands to the reason that he's highly favored here. Rain being the player we like to call like the Archangel of Protoss, because he always plays macro, he always plays late game. But in PvP, it's a little bit different than, say, PvT or PvZ for getting to that late game. Sometimes weird things can happen, and late game Protoss versus Protoss is a completely different beast that SOS has shown time and time again that he's very familiar with, absolutely knows how to play that late game.
Yeah, I agree completely. But, I mean, one thing we got to factor in is the map. Frost is quite a big map, 4-player map. Definitely gives Rain a bit of time to set up for that late macro game. So we'll have to wait and see if that's actually going to take effect.
Yeah, we will see indeed. Let's jump into game number 1. JINAIR versus SKT here at the SPL round 4 with Team Salmon.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here in the top right in the blue for JINAIR, Green Wings, the Protoss player. It is $O$.
And up to the top left for SK Telecom T1, the Archangel of Protoss. It's Rain. Spawned in the red, wearing that banana suit.
The banana suit, is that what it's called?
Well, I don't know. When I saw the SKT new jerseys, all I could think is banana boat. Like, I see them walk out. They got off the banana boat in their banana suits, man. They're ready to play. I like their old jerseys a lot more, is basically what I'm trying to say. Maybe not the politest way for me to say it, but...
no, I agree completely. These new shirts leave something to be desired. I guess they're summer shirts there. You know, they kind of be bright and like fresh, which is kind of cool. Yeah. See where they're going.
I feel like the summer colors here are like the bright yellows or the oranges or like the mint blue, you know?
Mint blue.
But for SKT, I feel like... the yellows are right. Maybe orange would have been better.
Yeah, I would have liked orange.
I would have liked orange as well, or even just black with a red SK Telecom.
Maybe some salmon color, guys.
Yeah, I would have been very okay with that. It would have been quite.
Would have been our team. Would have been our team.
Yeah, would have been on our team.
But then we'd be biased. So
yeah, actually,
that's okay.
I really would prefer that nobody on any of these pro gaming teams wears pink. For that reason. On the off season, though, it's totally fine.
Someone's going to come in here with a red bandana. Or not a red bandana, salmon bandana. I don't know why I said red. That like doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know what? It'd be cool if a team actually adopted the bandanas. That'd actually be a really cool accessory to have, like SKT1 bandana.
Well, probably once QXC retires from being a North America pro and comes over to Korea, he might...
He can join Team Salmon.
Yeah. And he might actually just start bandana team.
That could work. That could work.
For those of you guys who don't know, QXC was known as the Bandana Terran by Korean netizens for a long time in Korea because he always wore a bandana. And nobody knew how to pronounce his ID because it was QXC. And that's imagine saying QXC as a Korean. Well, it's not easy.
No,
QXC.
That's no easy task at all. And I mean, in this game so far, getting into the game, we have seen identical builds from both players, both going for 2 early gases. Pretty much have the exact same income and tech so far. We're going to really have to wait and see what's going to happen.
It looks to be double Stargate, actually, I feel.
It could be. But, I mean, at the same time, we could
They're both going to put the pylon in the same exact place. What is going on? Sentry starts same time Warp Gate?
This is exactly the same build.
Well, this is like the way to do it. You always want to have that pylon there for spotting on this map.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to let you know if an Oracle is coming, a Warp Prism is coming, anything is going to come. If you want to go Stargate, which I think is a high chance of these players doing, then you want to have that Stargate in the corner as well to maximize the speed at which it can get out there and do damage. Obviously, right now they're going to be a little bit safer, though. Get these sentries out here, the Mothership cores out both as well. We could actually just see Nexus firsts before Tech. Starting to look that way. Nexus first goes down here for SOS, and Rain a little bit more timid. About to hit that 150 gas mark.
But saving up a lot of
There he
minerals.
goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's completely understandable for Rain to do this. This is exactly Rain's style.
Yeah, it's just the trade-off here with he gets an extra sentry. That's why, rather, SOS gets a sentry versus the stock. That's why he got his next up faster, because it costs less minerals versus the gas. And he goes into a Twilight Council, or rather a Stargate, whereas Rain goes into that Twilight Council back at home. So that's going to be decent for him against the Stargate play. And also could be excellent for him depending on what exactly comes out of that Stargate.
This probe comes in and sees the Nexus. That's pretty good information for SOS right now. He wants to know whatever information he can get with that probe will be pretty good.
Oh, sentries.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and they're
Attempt
going to
to
deny it.
deny.
I don't think you got to see it. It would have been very close. But kind of safe to assume at the very least.
I don't think he saw that, but, you know, honestly,
like 2 sentries,
Yeah.
probably going to be a Nexus.
Yeah.
And an Oracle straight up. So this is a very good choice from SOS, but we're going to see the Scout.
Yeah. This is something you can get with that early sentry. It's so good to build up that energy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get this hallucination into the main base. SOS does the same thing. He's going to see the Twilight Council. So both these players can have a really good idea of what each other are doing.
Warp Gate research finishes for both now. With the additional gates going up here for Rain, he can actually start blinking out those, or start chronoing out those stalkers. Did he cancel Blink, or did that finish? I'm pretty sure he canceled that, right?
It looks like he canceled it.
Yeah, I think he's actually just going to totally switch it up, which I really, really like. Because Blink is not going to kill somebody who goes Oracle with the Nexus down there with a Nexus cannon.
No.
And you're going to be too vulnerable to counterattacks if you move out with your Blink Stalkers. So I really, really like this. Now, the Void Ray choice here is out of safety because he did scout that Twilight Council, and he's like, well, what if he does do a Blink Stalker? I need that.
Oh. So close.
One hit away.
And yeah, I agree completely. Going straight into Robo from here, while they're on 2 bases, I mean, they got to get up their Immortal count. They got to get to Colossus. They got to take that 3rd base if they want to, or do a timing. So it definitely makes a lot of sense. Both playing very safe and very smart so far.
Yeah, I really like the switch out of Blink. I think that's very intelligent. It's just Blink, once the game goes to like 9 to 10 minutes, it's like not really that useful. Sometimes it can catch a Warp Prism or kill a Phoenix or an Oracle, but is it really worth the cost for these units that are in the late game are going to be totally useless? I don't think it's worth it. So I like the choice to cancel that. 4 gates now in total.
SOS had an Immortal on the production tab, and he actually canceled it and started another Void Ray right away.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if he's just going to hit a timing attack with Void Rays and Stalkers, maybe.
It
Or
definitely
Zealots
looks like
even.
it. Yeah. I mean, like, he scouted the forward, so he's like, okay, he's investing in upgrades here, so maybe I can make something happen if he goes for a 3rd base. If he plays too defensive, I can really take control. But well, we see a pylon down in the 3rd, so he might even go for a faster 3rd.
Yeah, let's wait and see, because there's a few different opportunities he has here. He could just be faking a 3rd base with this, and then he goes for the attack. He could be using the Void Rays to defend his 3rd base with these gateways. He's making a lot of minerals because he actually didn't take the extra gas at his natural just yet. So he's going to get those extra minerals to drop this Nexus down, but I think he's actually going to poke during this with his Void Rays. And this is a very dangerous poke because those Immortals are really the big line of defense here for Rain, and they're going to get targeted down in no time by the Void Rays.
Yeah, those Immortals, they have really heavy arms. Just like the Marauders, they cannot shoot up. So if those Void Rays can get the charge on the Immortals and get those guys down, even in an attack, that's a nice snipe on that Observer, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be huge, especially later on.
Yeah,
He
he's
can,
going to force out, like, Stalkers here.
Yeah, and you know what? He can force field these units away from the Nexus, too, if they get too far out with the sentries. He'll also force field units into the main while they're trying to deal with that Oracle. Or vice versa, he can force field them out of the main, then the Oracle comes in. Okay, so he uses Revelation here, and he's going to start picking away at some of these hit points. He's not going to use a Prismatic Alignment until he's ready to engage. And great forces there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He's going to trap 2 sentries in a Stalker. There's the alignment. And now he's just going to walk away, wait for that Nexus cannon to dissipate. Almost loses the Mothership Core. That was scary. And but during all this, he has a 3rd base coming up.
Yeah, I mean, he's completely in control here, forcing out units that Rain doesn't want to make. He doesn't want to be making Stalkers. He wants to be getting these Archons, getting these Immortals out. He's obviously going for a timing here with Immortal Archon. But at the same time, this Void Ray pressure is just forcing him out, forcing the Mothership Core to waste a lot of energy, and really getting SOS into an economic advantage by far.
He absolutely needs Archons right now. Stalkers are actually not the answer to Void Rays. Believe it or not, Zealot Archon will be the answer for that. The Zealots on the ground is overwhelming. They can't be targeted down by the Void Rays quickly. They're going to be able to just run past that beam. but the Archons are really going to be the damage dealers anti-air. He can add a few Stalkers in, but he really needs to have that beefy Archon count, especially once the Voids start stacking up. You get that extra splash damage done. Void Rays don't do bonus damage to Archons either. So
yeah, and he starts at third base, but I mean he's really behind. He's completely behind. That third base is up and running for a long time now for SOS. So
and honestly, I don't even know if Rain knows about the third base because
I don't
he lost
think he
the
does.
Observer.
Yeah, he has no idea. He's completely in the dark.
He lost the Observer. He didn't have very many sentries after those sentries got picked off earlier on to actually hallucinate Scout. I don't think he actually knows. Yeah. I think he's going to check right now with his Zealot. And yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Wow,
and SOS is actually going to shut down the Zealot too, scouting it with the illusion.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. That Zealot was actually just going onto the Watchtower, and SOS is going to deny it once again, forcing Rain to push back. And now the Observer is going to come into the main base. He sees a ton more gates going down. And if he thinks about it, you can't really support 10 gates on 2 bases. So he's like, well, do you have a third base?
Yeah, I think he's starting to realize that with this pylon he's placed as well.
And if you look at Rain's army, it is really, really
it's
strong.
Much better.
He's got 4 Archons to 2.
I mean, a lot of the army, a lot of the supply you guys see at the top right, it only shows the worker count that SOS has, but not actually the the army supply. He doesn't have as big of an army supply. He needs to make sure he gets his units perfectly split up here. He's using Nexus Cannon. Cannot let his Mothership Core get feedback if he can help it. That's definitely what the plan is here with this, and I think he's going to get it. Nexus Cannon goes down first. Nicely done. Feedback meaningless here.
And that's actually going to really affect his push too, because there is no warp ins from this Warp Prism. So he's going to have to really rely on that bottom pylon here, and it's really going to delay a lot of aggression. And going to the natural here, trying to avoid that Photon Overcharge completely.
Such a smart move here, but he's completely spotted. That Oracle has been so useful. Great time warp here, though.
That is so huge. His Mothership Core has a lot of energy, but SOS doesn't have any. But is it just too much here? Are the Void Raids doing too much damage?
There's nothing to kill them right now. Nothing is actually hitting them. And once they eventually start to do that damage, once the anti-air is gone, it doesn't matter. And goodbye, Archons. Void Ray is such a great unit in this type of fight because they fly. So they can actually just stack up on top of the rest of your units and be doing damage while you're doing damage with the Archons, while the Zealots are tanking at the front. And that's game, ladies and gentlemen. SOS is going to take that 1-0 lead here for JINAIR. Just a misread here by Rain. GG.
He just bought too much time at the third base. He had it for way too long. That pressure was such a good play with the Void Rays. He bought himself so much time. He had a great economy. He was able to make so many Archons in the interim while that Photon Cannon was on his third base and while Rain was repositioning, so he got even 2 more Archons than what Rain had, so he was just able to easily take that fight, especially with the Void Rays.
Yep. I mean, I feel like it really came down to denying that Observer. That really completed the aggression, because he had no idea that third was up or when it went down and what he was up against with this aggression. If he knew it wasn't as intense as he thought it was, maybe he wouldn't have invested so much into defending. Maybe he would have tried to tech more.
Yeah, he was making cannons at home and stuff. He was really terrified.
Yeah, he definitely he had no idea what was going on. So that Observer was essential, I feel.
Absolutely. I feel like this is just, again, showing why SOS is such a great player in Pro. He plays a style that honestly isn't really very popular even on a map that it seems to have a lot of success in. He goes for a Void Ray defense of a third base with pressure. It's very tricky, but it's also very solid, because even if Rain finds out about the third base, the Void Rays are a great